Hello guys, and welcome back to another Sir Spooks reaction. Today we're going to be checking out top 5 scary videos that are impossible to watch alone. And I am alone, so... Ooh. Let's check it out.
Hello everyone,
Hello,
my
Sir
name is
Spooks.
Sir Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 5 scary videos. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future uploads.
Okay.
Alright, let's begin. There's sort of an unspoken agreement of sorts that cornfields are a little creepy. We aren't necessarily sure why, but there's just something about them that's ripe for fear. Which is probably why so many different horror movies have scenes that take place in them. The following video, uploaded by TikTok user Casey Dusted, shows that our fears of cornfields are not unfounded.
Is that movie the source of the whole black-eyed kid things, or did that movie take that from some sort of mythology? Because I know the first time I ever heard of the black-eyed kids was from Children of the Corn. I think it's called Children of the Corn. It's been a long time.
The caption says that a farmer a couple of miles down the road from Casey sent over the video in question. The farmer has also allegedly been hearing strange things during the night. Take a look at the eerie video and make sure that you have the volume on your speakers turned up.
Okay. Right now my volume's at 10. Is what I usually have it at. I also have my loudness equalizer on.
Hello? Hello?
As you can hear, a strange giggling noise is seemingly coming from somewhere in the cornfield.
I didn't hear any giggling,
although the
but
farmer
I did hear
can be seen
something.
trekking his way through the fields in search of the source of the giggling. The video abruptly ends after he says hello. To this day, nobody is quite sure exactly what could be heard in the cornfield that day, or who the voice belonged to. What do you think about this particular clip? Who was in the fields that day? Let me know your theories in the comments below.
Just some sound inside a cornfield. Could be any number of things. Could have even been wind going through the leaves. Things can make some strange sounds if everything's lined up just right. Other than that, I've always wanted to walk through a cornfield. I don't know why. Luckily, I grew out of the phase of wanting to walk.
Escape rooms are supposed to be incredibly complex yet fun areas designed for customers to use their brain to break out of. However, these can obviously be a little creepy. Heck, Hollywood has even made some movies about them already. However, those are just movies. The following 2 clips published by TikTok user The Basement Escape Room are in real life. The caption provided with the first clip reads, quote, "One of our employees arrived early for her shift, and while preparing the building for the day's reservations, she heard a loud banging coming from the mid-lobby. As she's been instructed, she immediately pulled her phone out to document the occurrence. What you're watching is what she captured. As she approaches the door to our operations area, you can see the door being slammed shut over and over. She went..."
If you own a business or anything like that, that is a good policy to have, where if it sounds like something's going down, automatically have your employees take out phones and start doing recordings. That'll save you from a lot of liability. And it will help out a lot if people don't believe when you tell them stuff.
"Went home shortly after and someone had to cover her shift." End quote.
What the f? Hello?
The second video posted to the account essentially serves as a continuation of the last one, as we watch the videographer explore the area, which just ends up capturing even more freaky things. Take a look.
Okay, let me see if I can get this on.
Why did she only videotape the left side of the chair when the chair was pulled to the right? So if there's any string or anything attached to it, it would have been to the right. And again, I've said it before, chair pulled towards the obvious path where you'd expect it to be pulled if somebody was pulling a prank.
There's no one in here.
In the description of the second video, the uploader writes, quote, "As our employee was turning on the cameras for the day, she noticed some of the chairs in the operations room were moving by themselves."
You notice how the chair is actually digging into the wall there so much that it's leaning? That is definitely somebody pulling it with a rope or a string of some sort. No question about it. That's the only thing that would cause something like that. If it was a so-called ghost, there'd be no reason for it to be getting rammed into the wall instead of just being slid over and back.
She ran over and started recording to see if she could capture it with her own camera. These are the events that followed. It's happening again. We have tried all of your suggestions and they worked for a while, but whatever.
And again, she only taped the left side instead of the right side where it was obviously being pulled from.
But this thing seems to be more angry than before. We need help. End quote. Although so far these videos have not gotten proper explanations, they are just a couple of weeks old, so it's still entirely possible that we could get some answers in the near future. Could this be a publicity stunt to gain some new customers, or is it all real? What do you make of these clips? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
I made my thoughts on that one very clear. Obviously somebody pulling the hair with a string. Too obvious, especially with the way it was going against the wall.
The following video was published to a popular urban exploration YouTube channel that typically...
I really like Mr. Spooks' voice. It's perfect for an announcer for this type of stuff.
...explores incredibly creepy, abandoned and haunted places. And this video is certainly no exception. In this particular upload, published to their channel on September 29th, 2022, the explorers are checking out an eerie flower factory, which may sound pleasant, but it turns out to be anything but. For about the first 10 minutes or so, it seems as if there really isn't anything too wrong with the place at all, aside from there being rubble strewn around and the overall state of the building looking quite disheveled. However, it's around this part of the video in which our videographer finds himself in the midst of his first scare of the night.
I blinked and missed the first part of that.
Despite this, he nevertheless decides to press onward and trek his way through the building.
One thing I did notice that I'm not liking here already is at some point you can see a lot of dust particle in the air, like when that person just showed up and then disappeared. However, like right now, no dust particles whatsoever. So basically there are cuts in the video.
Eventually, he enters this room, which looks to be quite normal, right? Well, he's dead wrong.
Okay. It's entertaining. But again, do you guys notice the difference in the dust particles between the different clips?
He then finds himself inside of a room that used to store and contain many plants and flowers. But instead, these days, it seems as though it contains some creepy spirits.
What a waste of perfectly good shelves. Bending them to the point where they'll bend like that. Not to mention all the plants on them. What a waste.
老铁们，忒狠了吧！我操啊！
Before he can make an escape, the uploader finds himself in one last area of the building, where he comes face to face with something that utterly terrifies him.
操你妈的，出来来！ 我操你妈！我操你妈！我哪去了？ 操你妈！
Although this urban explorer definitely has plenty of experience and has been making these kinds of videos for quite some time now, I think that we can all agree that it's probably best if he stays out of it for his own safety.
Again, as I said, dust particles, you can tell that there's a major difference between them in the same clip. Literally seconds apart from each other. The room is full of them, and then they're settled down and there's barely any to see. Too obvious of a sign of jumps there. It's not really their fault. The place looks like it hadn't been cleaned in a long time. So them moving around and setting stuff up would get the stuff up in the air. But it was very entertaining. I think those guys should definitely think about writing and actually making horror movies.
In October of 2021, a man named Corbin Finn uploaded an extremely creepy video to his TikTok account in which he explains that he works at an old urgent care facility that just recently got shut down. He says that he isn't quite sure why the place even closed down in the first place, but he mentions that he finds the building to be
Irish Blood 101, so gonna give us information on how to be a green-blooded Irishman?
quite spooky. He says the reason why he's there is to be looking for a leak somewhere in the building. However, while filming, Corbin ends up filming something genuinely terrifying that he could have never guessed would have happened that day. Take a look and make sure your volume is up.
What it sounds like is the reason he's there is there's a leak somewhere in the building, and he's there to find the source of it. He isn't there to find the leak itself, he's there to find the source of the leak. Because it sounds like there's basically water leaking down and causing water damage to different parts of the building. At least that's what it sounded like to me.
Real spooky place.
Oh man.
Another bathroom. Another bathroom.
I heard that.
Corbin doesn't end up hearing the extremely freaky voice and proceeds to continue on with the video, walking around various different areas of the urgent care facility. About 30 seconds later, Corbin is showing off the shoe rack room when he ends up capturing something perhaps more terrifying than before. But this time, he does notice it.
Be upstairs, had to put your shoes in this little cubby.
For somebody who's here to look for a leak, this guy hasn't looked at a single sewage pipe, and this guy hasn't looked at a single water pipe, even though he went by a bathroom. Maybe in the original video he was looking at them, and it was just cut out. I don't know, but so far, just going from what I can see here, the whole story of him being there to look for a leak is complete bull.
After some further investigation, there's no one else in this building. I've heard someone go down those stairs, though. So...
Of course, upon witnessing this, it's clear that Corbin is quite unnerved, and understandably so. But before he can leave the building and call it a day, he's in for one last good scare.
There's a stage up here. Looks like a couple of altars next to him.
That place does not look like it's abandoned unless those are fake trees.
Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the fuck out of here. That was it.
After hearing this bump, Corbin proceeds to race his way to the exit of the building and manages to get out of there in one piece. But the question still remains. What exactly happened in the urgent care facility that day? We may never know the answer.
Okay, so on that one, the guy didn't seem to be looking anywhere for any form of leak whatsoever. A lot of the places he went to would have nothing to do with the plumbing. No sewage pipe, no drainage pipe, no water pipes. So the story on why he's there seems like it's bull. It's shown one toilet, and he didn't even look under the sink or anything. He didn't check the hoses on the toilet. So the whole running on the stairs, I could mimic that same thing just by let's see if my mic will pick it up. Not sure if the mic picked that up. I could have pasted it a little better to sound like actual footsteps, but you get the point. The sound of the footsteps that were coming from him running were the exact same pitch and volume as the ones from that we supposedly heard running up and down the stairs, which suggests the source around the same spot. So that one there, it would have been better if he would have thought it out a little bit better. Would have been a better video if he would have thought it out a little better, but maybe had somebody else actually down lower and just running in place, stomping on the ground or something. Would have been good if he actually made it look like he was looking for a leak, since that's the excuse he gave. Okay, let's get to this last video.
A man named Chris runs a popular YouTube channel, Urbex Hill, which typically consists of uploads relating to him exploring creepy and abandoned places, many of which are haunted. In this particular video, he's exploring an incredibly chilling, abandoned, and allegedly haunted area that he's referring to as the back rooms, which proves to be quite terrifying, as you're about to see. About 9 minutes into the exploration,
that guy knows nothing about the back rooms. There's no carpet, and the walls have the wrong wallpaper on them.
Chris eventually makes his way into a particular area of the building that he says is noticeably colder in that section of the building, which freaks him out. Despite this, Chris presses on and decides to continue with the investigation, which might not have been the best choice. At one point, he explores this section of the building when this happens.
Oh, that's creepy. That's like right on my... It looks like I'm actually sitting in the room.
Did you hear that? That was loud.
Okay.
What's interesting here is that upon hearing that loud noise, Chris says that he suddenly felt very sick, which just makes you wonder what dark dread the building inhabits. At the end of the video, we are shown tons of creepy moments for you to enjoy.
Okay. That was creepy. It looked like I was like right in the middle. I started looking around, just like, when did I go into a different room? Looked like I was actually sitting in that room. Definitely something shiny there. That vanished as soon as the light hit. Don't care about reflections of light.
This moment from earlier in the video captured something unnerving that I'm sure no one caught on their initial viewing. Thankfully, Chris makes sure to get out of there as fast as he can before things get even worse than they already were. To this day, this is definitely one of Chris' more interesting exploration videos, and one that's loaded with tons of chilling moments. How did Chris suddenly get sick? What did he see down there that day? Who or what was keeping him company? These are all unsolved questions that will likely remain unsolved.
That looks like it might just be a reflection of his light reflecting off of something in the hallway and just hitting that area just perfect to make it look like something.
And that was 5 scary videos. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content.
Okay.
My name is Sir Spooks, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Thanks, Sir Spooks. Okay, guys, the original will be in the description, so if you enjoyed the video, head over to Sir Spooks' channel through the original and give him a like, give him a sub if you want to see more of his stuff. If you enjoy my stuff, give me a like and give me a sub. And always, just as a, okay. And always remember, it's not, what matters isn't if the videos are real or fake. What matters is if you enjoyed it and got some entertainment out of watching it. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake as long as you enjoy it. So I will see you guys in the next video.